The aircraft carriers of the U.S. Navy are truly insane engineering marvels, often described as cities at sea. These floating monsters, with their towering superstructures and sprawling decks, are the stage for organized chaos where the cutting edge of aviation engineering unfolds at breathtaking speed. Every 20 seconds, a jet takes off or lands on this moving makeshift runway in the middle of the vast, unpredictable ocean. But make no mistake, landing on this confined shifting strip is no simple feat. Pilots rely on a precise, high-risk maneuver known as the arrested tailhook landing. Now picture the unthinkable. What happens if something goes wrong during this delicate life-or-death operation? What if a jet fails to make a successful arrested landing on one of the most perilous runways in the world? The consequences are nothing short of catastrophic. A jet that doesn't stop on the deck could plummet overboard and vanish into the unforgiving sea below. Or worse, it could hurtle across the deck, devastating the ship itself, wreaking havoc on vital equipment, and endangering the lives of the crew and fellow pilots. A failed landing doesn't just threaten the life of the pilot, it jeopardizes the safety of everyone aboard, putting the entire mission and the very survival of the crew at risk. You have only a few seconds to land precisely without enough space to come to a gradual stop. Now, imagine what happens if you can't. This is where comes into play the arresting cable system, a technological marvel and an absolute lifeline for every pilot attempting to land on an aircraft carrier. Each of these cables, made from high-tensile steel wire, has one job: to bring the incoming aircraft to a dead stop within seconds. Without them, safe carrier landings would be virtually impossible. But what exactly do these cables do, and why are they so critical? Here's how it works. As the aircraft approaches the deck, the pilot lowers a specially designed metal hook, called the tail hook, positioned at the back of the jet. The aim is precise: to snag one of the 4 arresting cables stretched across the deck. Once the hook catches, the arresting cable absorbs the massive energy of the landing jet, slowing it from 150 miles per hour to 0 in just 2 seconds. Without this intervention, the jet would either plummet off the end of the deck into the ocean or collide with critical personnel and equipment on board. Now let's imagine, just for a moment, what would happen without these cables. An aircraft coming in at high speed, forced to land without arresting cables, would face certain disaster. Either it would fail to stop and plunge straight into the ocean, a tragedy at best, a catastrophic loss of life and equipment at worst, or it would overshoot its landing and cause chaos on deck. Imagine a multi-million-dollar aircraft crashing into fuel tanks or colliding with crew members. The consequences would be deadly. The arresting cables themselves are engineering masterpieces. Made from dozens of strands of high-tensile steel wire, each cable is incredibly strong, built to endure the brutal force of hundreds of tons moving at high speed. And it's not just the cable that makes this possible. Beneath the deck, a sophisticated hydraulic and spring system absorbs the energy as the cable catches the aircraft, dispersing it safely to prevent damage to both the aircraft and the ship. The entire mechanism undergoes constant inspection, testing, and replacement to ensure it's always ready to perform flawlessly, because on an aircraft carrier, there is no room for error. Without these cables, the world's navies would lose one of their most effective strategic assets: the ability to deploy aircraft on the high seas. These cables are not just a part of the carrier, they are its lifeline, ensuring that every landing ends in success, not disaster. They enable pilots to return home, aircraft to remain intact, and missions to be completed. So, the next time you see a carrier jet landing, remember, the arresting cable is the invisible hero, turning a dangerous, high-stakes maneuver into a manageable feat. Without it, our aircraft carriers would be nothing more than floating runways too dangerous to use,